Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me in this third and final part of the series on cooking butter chicken, or as in my case, butter paneer. We start off with a large thick walled utensil such as this Dutch oven. Set it on high flame for a couple of minutes to bring it up to temperature. Now we will add the cooking oil. If you are mixing butter as well, in the overall recipe, my recommendation is to hold off on the butter for now, as this part needs high flame cooking and you should avoid butter for that. While the oil is heating up, we add the whole cloves. Next, we add green cardamom seeds and the large cardamom seeds. The hot oil will extract the flavors out of the whole spices. Please make sure the oil is hot but not fuming, as this will burn the whole spices and create a bitter flavor. Once you hear whole spices sizzling, it is time to add the onions. Be extra careful while adding the onions, protecting yourself from any oil splash. Onions have quite a bit of moisture, and you can expect oil splashes while opening the lid. Observe how I open the lid away from myself. Run the spatula to mix up the onions every minute or so. At the very first sign of onions showing golden, set the flame slightly lower than high. We will skip through minutes of this slow cooking, but this is an important step that needs a lot of patience and attention. As the onions are turning golden brown now, I will switch to medium to low flame. By now, the flavor of cloves has been extracted. We don't need them anymore, and you can remove any whole spices that you had previously added. I like to caramelize my onions to deep brown, but for starters, you could stop at this level. With experience, you will be able to understand what level of caramelization best suits your palate. The onions are now well done, and we will move them to the side of the pan to add the tomatoes. Carefully add tomatoes, avoiding splashing of the oil. Follow the same process to saute the tomatoes by mixing them occasionally and running it at low heat. Once the tomatoes are cooked, the oil will separate. At this time, carefully remove the sauteed mix into a bowl, leaving behind as much oil as possible. We will let the onion and tomato mix cool off for a few minutes and then use a good blender for a smooth paste consistency, or my preference, a chopper for a slightly coarser blend. Use as little water as possible to avoid splashing when we begin the next cooking step. It took approximately 30 minutes to cook the onions and tomatoes, and this slow saute and cooking process is the real secret sauce of this recipe. At this time, we will add anywhere from 1/3 to about half a can of the crushed tomato. If you like a sweet and tangy flavor, add more tomatoes. If you prefer a more caramelized, smoky flavor, then use less tomatoes. Blend this mixture for a few more seconds to smooth out the crushed tomato you have just added. We begin by adding the optional red chili powder and cardamom seeds. Expect about 30 to 40 more minutes of cooking. Now add the blended mix slowly, avoiding any splashes. Here on out, the flame will always remain on low or low to medium at most. This is the right time to add butter, as we won't cook on high flame anymore. Don't add any water at this stage. If you used a lot of water to make the paste, the heating sauce will splash all over. Reduce heat and cover with a lid. It is time to bring out the marinating paneer from the fridge. The grill is heated up and surfaces have been greased. I will spread the marinated paneer pieces evenly across the grill. If it was chicken, I would be reducing the flame for the sauce to a minimum and head out to my charcoal grill to grill the chicken thighs. While this paneer grills, the sauce will slow cook for another 5 to 7 minutes. Make sure you stir occasionally, ensuring that the sauce is not sticking to the bottom. Check the paneer and apply a little oil for a crispy crust. The sauce has now been cooking for about 10 minutes, and you don't see many splashes. This means all the water has evaporated. The separation of the oil indicates that the sauce is cooking well and is nearing completion. Paneer looks ready, and it's time to gently remove the pieces from the grill. Let them cool down to settle and tighten up a bit. This will ensure they don't break when added to the sauce. Keep stirring the mix frequently, as it will start to stick to the bottom again. Observe the separation of oil. This indicates that the water from crushed tomato has evaporated. As indicated previously, this style of cooking can create extensive splashing as seen here. Please take precaution to avoid burning yourself. The color and texture indicates the sauce is fully cooked. For finishing the sauce, we need heavy cream. You can use cooking cream as well. I don't think it makes much of a difference. Butter chicken masala, which is optional, but I highly recommend it. We will also add saffron, for which we will need a tablespoon of milk to soak it. If you are not a purist and need a cheaper option, saffron essence would do just fine. Only add 1 or 2 drops at most. Now we will add butter chicken masala by mixing a spoonful with a little water and adding it to the mix. Remember to add a little at a time. Taste the impact it has on the blended flavors and adjust accordingly. Based on the taste, I think this needs a lot more flavoring, so I'm going to add 2 more spoons of butter chicken masala. Now we need to add about a teaspoon of salt to bring out the flavor and start balancing the dish. Depending on salt content of your tomato and masala, you may need different amount of salt. Remember, you can always add more later, but you can't take it away. Salt is an amazing ingredient. It immediately changed the taste of the sauce and enhanced the flavor of the spices. I have decided to add about half a teaspoon more salt. It is time to reconstitute this sauce into a butter paneer gravy consistency. For that, we will add a cup of water. Stir the mix into an even consistency. Add half of the saffron milk and save the rest for the end. Stir the sauce and taste it. We now add our secret ingredient, sugar. Adding the right amount of sugar is the difference between an okay butter chicken and an amazing butter chicken. You can use regular sugar, coconut sugar, palm sugar, or jaggery. Let's blend a spoonful in water and add it. As always, taste after every addition and change if needed. So at this time, my taste buds are telling me I feel the right blend of spices, the tanginess of tomatoes, the sweetness of tomatoes enhanced with palm sugar, and the salt is perfect. What is missing is that richness and smoothness that is needed in butter chicken or butter paneer. And for that, we will add the heavy cream. How much? Well, start with about half a cup, and your aim is to bring the color of the sauce similar to the orange color of the grilled paneer. If you like it creamier, add more by all means, but I prefer slightly less heavy cream. But if you want to compare it to the ones in restaurants, I would add a little more. Here you can compare the color before and after adding the cream. Based on this taste check, I'm going to give it a whiff of salt and a little bit of sugar. Stir it well and check it for final taste. Since we like it much more spicier, I will add more butter chicken masala. You don't have to, it's totally up to your taste. Oh wow, this is tasting perfect, amazing flavors. I will add a tablespoon more cream and mix it well. Now we will slowly roll in paneer into the gravy, making sure the pieces don't break. Mix the paneer with gravy without breaking the pieces. Observe how my spatula runs along the edge of the pan, lifting the pieces up from underneath. The gravy has thickened a little more than my liking, so I will add a little water to make it slightly thinner. This will also ensure that it is at the right consistency when being served later, as the water will evaporate. We will do a final taste test. This is so yummy, just the way I like it. Nothing to be added or removed here. We are ready to serve.
Alright friends, so the final step, which is actual tasting. You saw how we got this tandoori roti made. What you see here are pickled Thai green chilies, or what we call regular mirchi in India, green mirchi. And we got some pickled red onions, which we love with this sort of dish. Anything rich, this sourness and the onion flavor gives a nice, it cuts through it really well. And of course, what we do is, because we added that little cream, I'm going to just give it a quick whisk here, and I'm going to take about a piece and put some gravy on top. I'm going to do some tasting here, see how it is. Paneer is really soft but yet firm enough that it doesn't break, so you actually have to use your spoon and fork to actually cut it. So let's go for it. That immediate sweetness, sourness, that rich flavor of blended onions and tomatoes and caramelized onions. So many different flavors blended together. It's just amazing. That's why it's my favorite dish to make. If you don't like strong flavors, I would add twice the cream that I added, and this should change to really light orange color, but I like it this way, and that way I get to eat less cream as well. So I'm gonna just do a quick bite of how I would eat it. So I would spread the roti a bit, because these rotis are slightly thicker than what we're used to. I'll take a piece of pickled onion. I'm gonna grab a piece of the paneer, which looks like this now, and I'll bring everything together in a bite with the gravy there.
Here is a picture of butter chicken I made a while back. You can select bone-in or boneless depending on occasion, but definitely use only thighs and drumsticks. There is no shortcut to make butter chicken or butter paneer. There is no 30-minute recipe, and there is no set amount of ingredients that would make the perfect butter chicken. Ingredients only have about 20% impact on the dish. The method of cooking and patience is the remaining 80%. Those 30 minutes that you spend slowly stirring the mixture and making sure the onions do not get burnt or the mixture doesn't get burnt and it's cooked at that perfect low heat is what's gonna bring out the best flavors. Thank you for watching this video. I would greatly appreciate if you will subscribe to my channel and like this video. See you soon in another one.